Okay, when I was much younger in school, I had the opportunity to learn the alphabet. For reference, we put it up here. English alphabet goes about like this. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and it keeps on going. We sing a cute little song, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and it goes all the way down there. I remember at some point pondering, thinking, well, why that order? Why don't we go A, C, G, F, D, A, something? Later on I came to realize there's a very valuable reason for why they're in that order. I was taught what alphabetical order does for a library. When you're able to take books and put them out in a certain order, and then somebody wants to find a book, they don't just randomly search through each one. If it starts with a T, clear back here in the alphabet, they know it's right between the S and the U. This is alphabetical order. Now, because there's a certain order, these are called ordinates. Okay? All those guys are called ordinates. They go in a certain order. You're able to find one of them because it's in a certain order between two others. Other famous ordinates that we have. And keep on going on those. The numbers, they're also ordinates. Now, we're going to start this section introducing charts, graphs, and maps by turning to your Bible dictionary. Well, at the end of the Bible, there's some maps that are pretty cool. And we have one of them that looks like this. Let's see if we can find it. So here is map 5. Click on it a little bit larger so you can see it. Map 5, the Assyrian Empire. So in the Old Testament, about 700 BC, about 800 BC, we get this map right here. And you see we have the Assyria, about 721 BC, right here. And they've taken over the northern 10 tribes, and they're about to come down and try taking over Judah. So we get a map that kind of tells us the history there. Now there are some things where you want to find one particular name, and we're going to go through some of them. First one we're going to find is called this is mentioned in the New Testament as a place where Christ went, Bethsaida. He's headed to this place. Where is it? How in the world? If you open up your scriptures, there's an index of place names in your scriptures. And that index will give you something. You look up Bethsaida, and it says, it gives these numbers. 11C3. Like, what does that mean? This tells you which map to look on. And these guys, you'll notice we have an ordinate here and another one. When you have two ordinates working together, funny that, they call it a co-ordinate. And it works the following ways. Let's go to map 11. Let's get out of map 5. Get out of that guy. Okay, here we are. So we come down here and we go to map 11. This is the Holy Land in New Testament times. We're going to click a little bit larger so you can see everything. Doesn't look larger at all. Ah, there we go. Whoa, that's pretty big. Now it says on map 11, C3 is where we're headed. So we look over here and you'll notice these things right up here, A, B, C, D, and you start singing the song, that's great. Now down here you have these numbers, and together you have C, 1, 2, oh, we gotta go lower. Down to 3. So let's see if we can zoom out just a little bit so we can see C and 3 at the same time. There we are. So here we have C is in this column right here. and 3 is in this row right here. And so you take where C and 3 meet up, there it is. This is the Sea of Galilee, and it's on the North Shore, so you're able to find some. We'll do one more to make sure you're okay with this. Samothrace. Ever even heard of Samothrace? Go to the index of place names, and we find the following. Map 13, E1. So let's follow the same pattern that we had before. So we want to go to map 13, Missionary Journeys of the Apostle Paul. And that's a little bit tiny to see it. So click on a larger view. Okay, so now we have it, and we are told with the coordinates E1, we go over here, there's E, and 1 will be just scooted over so we can see 1. E1. So we're in this column right here, we're in this row, this column, and Samothrace is that little island right there. And it helps us locate it. Now, aside from just doing maps, we're able to do a lot more with these. And in fact, it connects to all shapes that are out there. For years and years, people studied circles, triangles, angles, lines, planes, spheres, cubes, all these geometrical shapes. But they always had to take it separate from the algebra that you have learned. There was a guy, and his name was René Descartes. So that was the city he was from, René Descartes. And the legend goes that when he was a child, he was very sick. And so he always slept in the morning. His boarding school teachers allowed him to sleep in, and that didn't change from when he grew up to a man. He always slept in. He would stay in bed, and he would look up at the ceiling and just think and ponder about philosophy and math all the time, no matter what. He was a philosopher and a mathematician, and so he looked up and he saw a fly walking across the ceiling. He thought, how can I describe where that fly is without somebody coming into the room be pointing exactly where it was? He had kind of a thatched roof, and so he was able to count over, wait, if I go 3 this way and 4 the other way, that pinpoints an exact location. Using two numbers as a set, I can pinpoint any location anywhere. So he was able to say, if we take this guy and go, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And if everybody will just agree that we do this guy first, we put 2 numbers together. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. That point right there. This is a coordinate system. And in honor of him being able to link these 2 together, they call it the Cartesian coordinate and what this did is if you have this one, -1, -3 here, right there at that point. And if we have -2, 4, there at that point. Now we normally call this the x-axis, and this one the y-axis, so they go in alphabetical order. That one will meet the x, that will meet the y. What it does, and this is why Descartes is so revered, if you connect those guys, the points of this triangle, which before his coming around and doing this used to just be a shape, and you just had to try to manage it with arguments and whatever. Now these numbers can be used in algebra. So all of the algebra you've used this entire semester, we can now start describing shapes with it. And that was the connection that he's so famous for. It's not just good for, oh great, we can name things, name pictures. You're also able to visualize some things. So, if we take, let's say, revenue for certain months. So we have revenue, money's coming in. In month 1, we have $200. In month 2, we have $150. In month 3, we have $125. Month 4, we have $115. Month 5, $130. And you look at this, and you say, oh, that's kind of nice. Good, we made over $100 each month. That was great, good month. Or you might think that was a terrible month. Some people are able to look at this and say, oh wow, the gap here is so much bigger than the gap here. We went down so much and down a little bit more. Other people really want to see a visual of what's going on. So this is one of the main advantages to having a coordinate system. When we take and graph these, so the first month, let's put this up here, so we have 50, 100, 150, 200, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So month 1, put that up there, 200, 2, 150, 3, 125, so it's going to be about right there. 4, even less, just 115, and 5, 130. Now if we connect these, we have a visual representation. As time elapsed, we started making less and less, but on the end we jumped back up. When we get a visual representation, you're going to be able to start putting your investment savings account into a chart, a graph, where you can visually see where they have increased or decreased. Good luck with that.